This was, for me, initially just a chance to go to see the presidents and get as close to them as you can until we figure out a way to go back in time and meet them in person anyway. I just always wanted to be around the presidents. It's a topic that has been interesting to me since I was a kid. I would take these stacks of books home from the library and I would study up on the statistics about the presidents the way that a baseball fan might look up, the ERA for their favorite pitcher or the home run and RBI totals for their favorite cleanup hitter. It was just something that I found really interesting. But the more time that I spent at these sites, the more I realized that there are these connections, not just about the lives of the presidents, but about their afterlives. For example, there's a great quote from Bill Clinton, who once said that being president is a lot like running a cemetery. There are lots of people under you and none of them are listening. So about 4 years ago, I decided to make this a project, and I said I'll have a look at each of these 39 grave sites. There are actually 38 grave sites of U.S. presidents, but Grover Cleveland was president on 2 non-consecutive occasions, so I had to visit his grave on 2 non-consecutive occasions. And I realized that the more time that I spent at these sites, the presidents never really quite leave us. They die, they are buried, or they are entombed, and they have funerals, but they have to keep working. And so I gave this period of their lives or afterlives a name. It's the post-presidency, and it's a very, very busy time, even though they're not around to be part of it because of what we do in their honor and in their names. I mean, we are in one of the most obvious examples of that, Washington, D.C. We just had President's Day earlier this month, so there are a lot of really obvious things. Our money has presidents all over it. But there are a lot of less obvious examples, too, a lot of connections that maybe don't come up in our wallets or in our address and mailing addresses. Our highway system is officially named the Dwight D. Eisenhower System of Interstate and Defense Highways. And there's that statue in Alexandria, Virginia, as the sort of ceremonial start to the federal highway system. The man who wrote the song "This Land Is Your Land" is Woodrow Wilson Guthrie. My favorite blues singer, Howlin' Wolf, his birth name is Chester Arthur Burnett. There's a baseball pitcher named Grover Cleveland Alexander. Interestingly, the one person who always comes to mind as a famous person who was named for a president, George Washington Carver, was not actually named for George Washington, which is kind of a neat fact. There are these serious connections, and then there are ones that are just plain inexplicable. And I bring you some news from the world of commerce. There's a whole set of presidential Pez dispensers, so you can, open up Zachary Taylor's head and pull out a candy, which is kind of cool. And then there's the teddy bear, of course, named for President Teddy Roosevelt. And then there's this one, which I will just submit without comment. This I saw in Cleveland, Ohio. It's from the 19th century. Garfield Tea, laxative and diuretic. The slogan, flush your bowels with Garfield Tea.